Hi, Lisa with IVF Manifesting a Miracle, and today's guest is a dear friend who has helped me tremendously in writing my book. She's my book coach. This is Gregory. Welcome, Catherine.
Hey, Lisa.
I miss our calls together. I met you about a year and a half ago, and I'll share the story of how just synchronistic our paths have been. But meeting you has been such a blessing. Just to introduce you to all of the listeners here today, you are a transformational coach. You are a healer, a publisher, the author of the book Fertile, and also the creator of the Fertile Being Method. So many accolades. I just am so honored to know you and have had you as my book coach. It's just been a dream to reach this point where I have the book in my hands. So we connected, which I love our story. It's just so serendipitous. And a year and a half ago at kind of a gathering of, how would you describe us? What were we there for? It was
entrepreneurs who are healers.
Global Healing, right? Global Healing Collective. And a friend of mine said, you got to meet Catherine. And you have a fertility story of your own, which I want the world to hear because it's so powerful. And you and I resonate on so many levels with the mind, body, spirit connection as we're going through our fertility journeys. And when we connected, you were kind of moving from the coaching space, which you've helped many women going through fertility challenges, into helping others now write their book, and you have this amazing journalism background. Can you just kind of share a little bit about yourself and your background?
Right. There's a lot of different hybrid skills there that have kind of come together over the course of many, many years.
Yeah.
So yes, I have a journalism degree. I kind of started my career in the journalism world writing on the topic of alternative health and healing, which was a very important, passionate topic for me. And at the time, let's see, this is a while back. I got to go back in my memory, but at the time of my busy journalism career, I was working for a corporate publishing company and pretty stressed out and needed a break. So I decided to go on this journey down to Mexico to just pause and reset. And I attended a yoga retreat. And while there, and my intention of that trip was to kind of ignite my creative energy again, just to, I felt really burnt out. So it was going there to ignite my creative energy. Yeah. And I had a chance encounter with a Mayan shaman while I was there. And I signed up for a traditional healing session with this person, not knowing anything about what was going to come, but I was seeking healing in any form, and I was open to it. I was a journalist. I was potentially going to write a story about it. Cool idea. But what happened was a profound healing experience that I wasn't expecting, related to my fertility. And he did traditional Mayan uterine massage, doing deep abdominal massage and uterine massage on me. And it was 2 weeks later that we conceived our daughter. And there was a history there of, many, many years not using birth control, not getting pregnant, but never seeking medical support for it. I kind of knew that it was going to come in a different way, intuitively. I knew my healing was going to come in a different form. And I had no idea it was going to come in Mexico on the beach, but that's what happened. That one uterine massage really enhanced my fertility to the point that sperm was able to meet the egg and the baby happened, and my daughter was born. And so that journey began a whole path, a new direction in my career of healing work and studying with traditional healers and getting certified in different modalities to begin to support other women struggling with their fertility. So for the past 15 years, I was working as a healer, helping women with their fertility using my holistic fertility method. Hello. What's called Fertile Being Method is the process. And so I was working with clients one-on-one in my healing practice for the last 15 years, and then published my book on the topic. And then the book journey itself kind of wove both of those worlds together, the writing world along with the healing world. And I began to support other people writing their books, other healers and other entrepreneurs who wanted to really, reach more people, make a bigger impact with their work. And so that's what I'm currently doing with my work now in Modern Wisdom Press.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, just your whole path and being open, right? You and I both really have we value that your challenges present themselves in a way which really they can be gifts to us in our lives. And I think it was around the time of 2000, right? When you had gone through a rough patch and did a solo trip. And I love, it's like that Eat, Pray, Love kind of like movie, right? Where you go on this quest for healing and just nurturing yourself. And you did share a lot about that, how you met a shaman. Well, and also a temple, right? Wasn't there like a fertility temple that
That
you?
was on a previous trip a year before, but
Okay.
there was so much synchronicity in both of
Yeah,
those trips. Yes, exactly. That story's in my book, but
yeah,
yeah,
it's
there
so
were lots of
powerful.
signs. There were lots of signs and synchronicities that were just opening the door to me moving down this path of healing for myself and then being able to share that gift with others.
Right. I know. I just love it. You know, you're going there to replenish yourself. And that second year, right around 2001, I think it was that you, I don't really know. I think I've met a shaman once, but just that whole experience, I'm so curious about it. But I love how you describe this gentleman who didn't speak any English and you just put complete trust and faith in, like, I'm going to do this 2 hour healing technique.
Mhm.
And he worked on your belly, which we'll dive a bit more into that Arvigo massage technique. And the translator said something like, oh, you're not going to have any fertility problems anymore after that.
Right. Like the experience was so unusual for me and so like out of my, realm of understanding what happened because he didn't speak English, I didn't speak Spanish, and he was actually Mayan and didn't speak Spanish either. So I had to find a Mayan translator to sit down
Oh,
with afterwards to learn, learn after the fact what happened basically. And he reported to the translator, I work with women who have a problem getting pregnant. You will no longer have that problem. And it shocked me because I hadn't shared a word about my fertility with
yeah,
him. I knew
yeah,
that he was tuning into something deep.
yeah.
And so that was the profound moment of like, aha. And that's how I found my teacher too, because traditional Mayan uterine massage has been going on for thousands of years. And I started researching what that was to learn more about it. And I found my teacher, Dr. Rosita Arvigo, who has a whole technique called the Arvigo therapy protocol.
Yeah.
And she trains practitioners all over the world in traditional Mayan uterine healing techniques, including the uterine massage. And that is what my practice was based around.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. I mean, they found out that you had a tipped uterus, right?
Right. So that's something doctors had told me all my life. Like your uterus is tipped, nothing to worry about. No, it's just a variation of normal, is what they would tell me. And intuitively, I knew that's not true. There's something,
Yeah.
off here. And so it was that moment that he said that to me. And after experiencing the massage, that I realized, like, wow, the position of the uterus is important. And it has so much to do with our center, our creative energy flow, our ability to be fertile.
Mm-hmm.
So that piece of it was just a profound moment. Like there's a missing piece of the puzzle for women, in Western medicine. The uterine position does matter. The connection, the relationship we have with this part of our body is vital to our fertility. And so that's really the foundation of the work I was doing with my clients and it's in my book.
It's amazing. I mean, how they brought your uterus back into alignment and your back pain improved, your digestion improved. It's really fascinating. And it's just a holistic, I mean, it's everything's connected. And when I read your book, I love it. I like highly recommend it for anyone that is looking for a holistic approach. I mean, you and I both, like I said, resonate with the mind, body, spirit approach. And what I love about what you speak of, you really dive into the chakras,
Mm-hmm.
which, there are 7 chakras, correct? Or am
In
I
the
wrong?
physical body, there
In
are.
the
There are many
physical
chakras.
body. And you break each chakra down, and I want more women to be open to learning about this because energetically, everything's energy. You and I both agree on that and write a lot about that. And can you speak a little bit on the importance of like our chakras and connecting to them?
Yeah, well, I'm an energy healer and everything is energy, I believe. And so when we can begin to see like our physical bodies from this place of more energy, energy that's connected to the organs specifically in our body.
Yep.
Around the uterus, the womb is how I like to call it. The womb is the sacral chakra, and that is the chakra responsible for our sexuality, our creative energy, just really our ability to connect in relationship and to our menstrual cycles. Like it's all related. And so when we understand how our physical symptoms are sometimes related, and I believe usually related to energetic imbalances, we can begin to approach our fertility just from a bigger understanding. And so it's not just that one chakra, it's a holistic approach. And so really understanding how to dive into your own being, to your own self, to really understand your history, your stories, the beliefs you have about your body, the mind, like we talked about, that understanding of what it is you're saying to yourself in your own mind about your fertility, about your body, like bringing awareness, shining light on kind of the deeper aspects of ourselves really does bring about healing in a way that just treating symptoms doesn't.
Yeah, and I'm so glad like we're talking about this because I don't feel like a lot of people really do tap into the energetics related to fertility. And I love how you call it your womb wisdom, right? And really getting quiet, listening, going within. You have a lot of wonderful practices in your book and meditations, visualizations. And I wish I had had this book too when I was going through my fertility journey. You helped women kind of in your former work, right? Like who were going through fertility treatments and wanting a more holistic approach, and have a really high success rate, I know, with the women you helped getting pregnant. Can you speak to some of those, like any words that you could share? Like what did women say? They felt more connected to themselves when they were tapping into this space?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of women start, when they start like kind of thinking about their fertility after the fact that they're not getting pregnant, right? Like they haven't thought of it until suddenly they're not getting pregnant when they thought they were going to easily get pregnant.
Yeah.
And so many of those women go straight down the path of seeking a medical perspective, getting medical support, maybe going through IUI or IVF. And so that route in many cases can be exactly where they need to be. And it also can be like a really hard place to start if they don't already understand their own body.
Yeah.
And so the holistic approach is really connecting them into their own cycles, their relationship to their cycles in their body, and really knowing their body well enough to see what may be out of balance. Because I believe, homeostasis is the balanced body. It's the state of balance that our bodies are always working to come back towards. So when we give it the right tools, we really are knowing what it needs and providing it the right tools, our bodies can heal themselves without having to go to drastic measures. And so many women would come to me after the fact. They're already on the path of IUI, or they're working with a doctor, or maybe they've already had failed IVFs and they've given up hope. And so they're like, I'll try anything. What's this holistic thing? I'll try it.
Yeah.
So I've had all kinds of people. Some people come to me prior to, the planners of the world. The type A people will come to me years in advance of getting pregnant and wanting to know what to do right. Like those are rare few humans, but I love them because they're thinking holistically already about how they can support their body. So one of the stories that sticks out with a client that is just really profound for me is a woman came to me right before she turned 45 years old. And she had been on a quest to get pregnant for many years, 7 years, working with fertility doctors, not getting anywhere, not having success, and had given up hope because she was over the age of 40, and, advanced maternal age is like, I don't know, 35 now. So she just started to believe the story that she had waited too long. It was her age. And all of the, tests she was taking with doctors were coming back, normal. She's normal. Like everything's working. Everything in her partner was working. So there wasn't really any diagnosis for why it was unexplained, or advanced maternal age. So what we worked on, was obviously holistically, approaching her uterine health, her cycles, everything was really balanced already. And just really for her, it was the mental belief. It was a mental belief that she couldn't get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
We really worked with her mindset. And in that time frame, it was amazing because Janet Jackson got pregnant at over 40. I can't remember how
Yeah.
old she was.
Yeah. Close to
But
50.
right, she was older, and that gave my client so much hope. She was just like, well, if she could do it, then maybe I could do it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and for whatever reason, that mental belief that she was too old kind of started to dissolve, and she began to embrace this possibility that she's healthy and she can get pregnant. And lo and behold, she got pregnant at age 45 and has a beautiful, like almost 2-year-old now.
That's so awesome. That's a great story. Something that you and I really agree on is the power of surrendering too, and letting go. And like, I speak a lot of that, and letting go of how it's all going to happen, how you're going to become a mother. And for both of us, both of our journeys in different ways, they were really magical ways of it all evolving, it all happening. I did have to go through IVF to have Olivia. And I know you didn't have to go that medical route, but just how magical, right? Through the shamans you've met, the healers, the energy work, like it just, I connect with that so strongly. And I hope more women who are going through this can get to a place of surrendering, even though it's like extremely difficult for many. How about for you? I mean, was it?
Yeah, well, I think that piece of what you said earlier, like looking at your challenges as gifts, like what's here for me to learn. That's such a beautiful place of curiosity. It can be so hard when you're in it, but really being able to ask, what is the gift here?
Right.
What am I here to learn? Right. And then surrendering that there may be something even better that's waiting for you. And if you're in the throes of IVF, like you had a lot of magic and a lot of signs on your journey in the medical world. And it's available to us whatever our path is. And so it's a matter of opening up and being able to surrender your plan, because very often our plans are really not best for why we're here. And I'm spiritual, and I have a belief that, our souls are here to grow, and we have a soul journey, and we don't know, our egos don't know the best way for us to grow. And so very often the things we have in our mind about how things are supposed to turn out really aren't serving us, and they're keeping us stuck in a cycle of suffering. So as soon as we can surrender, we release that suffering, and we can open it to a more expansive view of curiosity and wonder and waiting and seeing what's to come. So many of my clients have the most beautiful stories when they're able to reach that place, because there's such a gift of self-love and acceptance in that too. They're able to finally like have peace where they are on their journey and not feel like a failure or like they're doing something wrong. And I think that that's such a big identity of women struggling to get pregnant, is they feel like a failure, that they don't know what they've done wrong, or they're being punished. And I think when you can really surrender and open up to, there's something else here, and I'm going to look at this as a healing, learning, growth journey. It's so powerful.
Yeah, as you're talking, I'm just kind of having these like self-reflecting moments of how magical, how our connection formed. And I know you're no longer directly seeing clients really within the fertility space, but I had met you when I was, evolving in my work and serving clients in this space, and how it's like, I don't want to say you've passed the torch to me. I don't mean it like that, but it's like so cool how like you came into my life at the perfect time to introduce like the idea of writing a book. And it was something I always had in the back of my mind because I journaled through everything. And since the age of 10, I've journaled. And we connected, and you kind of were pivoting into this new work and still carrying that element of the chakras and the flow and all through my coaching with you. Like that was such a really cool, magical offering that you included in your coaching. Cause, even just, it was a 9-week book writing program. to, I'll just share with everybody a little bit about that process, because it's just, um, 9 is like my lucky number. And I'm like, okay, 9 weeks. This is starting off awesome. So like a 9-week program to get my manuscript done. I mean, that sounds, people are like, what? How could you write? And it actually was more like 6 weeks, wouldn't you say? The first 3 weeks are like getting in a space of like clarity that like bring the
divine flow.
yes.
Right? Like I think our encounter was divinely guided.
Yeah, I do too. And it's just so cool. Like when I look back at it all, and then having your support through the next phase. And it was a really magical time. I really do miss it. And I want to continue writing, and I'm so grateful to you and Nathan, your business partner. And, you know, both of you have just been there for me and making this a really enjoyable process. And thank you.
I'm so glad to hear it. Well, when I met you at that event and you said, I am, I've been through IVF, I had, a success story and I wanted to write a book. I'm like, wow, yes, because I wrote my book knowing that I was going to be kind of moving into something else. And I didn't want to leave clients hanging. And it was just like, yes, this is a woman who has had firsthand experience of the journey of IVF and going through this. And it just felt so aligned to, I mean, it's a subject that's so dear and personal to my heart. I've been working in this field for so long that it just felt divinely guided that you were showing up and wanted to write this book and help more women on the IVF journey in particular.
Truly.
Like beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, and then I just have to share this too, like in May, right? When we were talking about the book launch, and you're like, I really think we could get out your Kindle on Mother's Day. And like how all of that was divinely guided, right? I mean, I'm so grateful to you and divine power source. Like it all like came together so beautifully. So releasing it on Mother's Day, published on my birthday, the paperback out the day before Father's Day, and then in my hands just on July 6th, our wedding anniversary. I'm just like, what? I could not have planned that.
No.
I just think it's such a part of what you bring to this process, and, that whole law of attraction, right? I like feel like, thank you for being such a part of this. So tell me, like, how you're doing with books. Like, how many books, where are you at right now with everything?
Right. So we,
I should announce Modern Wisdom Press. It's here in Boulder. And
right. So like when I was transitioning, I mean, I love the work in the fertility realm, like love it. It's so rewarding to watch mothers become mothers and hold their babies in their arms. Like that's been so dear to me. And at 15 years of doing it, I felt like I wanted to, step into serving more people. I just didn't know what that looked like. So you were a spark in that whole vision. I already had it in my field. It was happening. But when you came along and were writing this book, I was like, yes. And I had written and published my book and had a lot of success with that, doing it on my own as a self-published author. And I had such a long career in the journalism world that it just made sense for me to start supporting other people who wanted to bring more healing and love and consciousness into the world. And that is our mission at Modern Wisdom Press. We are really publishing transformational nonfiction books that help people heal, that bring more love and consciousness to the world. And at this time, it's so needed. So we've been really busy in such a great way. In such a great way. Yeah. So we have, I think, 16 books now, and we started a year ago.
16 books. Yes. That's incredible.
Yes, and more on the way. And so it just feels, and they're all across different topics, everything you could ever imagine. It's not just fertility and women's healing. We have entrepreneurs who are money coaches, and we have meditation teachers and people in all walks of work. And so it feels really fun, and it's a new challenge, and it feels like a great blend of hybrid skill sets that I have. And I have actually taken the fertile being method, which is all about the chakras and the energy work, into the journey of the author, because it is a transformational journey to write your book and become an author and step into the world as this new version of yourself. So it's not I call it the Birth Your Book program, because it's not too unlike birthing a baby and the creative process of creating something. And stepping into a new version of yourself. So that's what that is. And it's just been really, really fun.
Definitely. I love how you incorporate a lot of the holistic techniques from your book into your coaching program through writing a book. And it's, again, it's all the serendipity of like your past healing background, journalism background led into your coaching. And so anyone that's interested in writing a book, I highly recommend Catherine, and tell her that I sent you.
Thank you.
No, but yeah, I want to see you in person at some point and hand deliver my finished book to you. You just.
I know. Well, I actually have a copy, of course, but I want a signed copy handed.
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh. Well, I just love what you're doing, and I'm so honored to have been, a part of your program, and thankful for all of your amazing guidance. I mean, it's definitely, like you said, a transformative process, and I'm so proud of it. It's just really.
You should be so proud of it, because it was such an honor to walk with you on the journey of putting your story together in a way that really serves your reader, and that really helps women who are right where you were see a way out and a way through that is so beautiful and so inspiring. And I love that you're really, helping women who have been in the medical, journey of it, and really bringing them some, like the soul, the spirit, the wonder, the magic to that part of the journey, because it's available and it's needed. It's really needed.
Totally. Well, I appreciate all of your, like you said, guidance, and really strengthening my voice as an author, first-time author, right? And speaking to really just one woman. If anyone, just really having that in mind. Like you gave me a lot of good, just kind of advice on speaking to that one person. So I appreciate that.
And I know you're going to transform way more than one person's life.
Thank you. Well, thank you. So people can find you at modernwisdompress.com.
Yes.
And Instagram. Tell me all of your socials. Would that be the website be the best place for people to reach you?
modernwisdompress.com probably, but I do have fertilebeing.com, and that's where they can get the book.
Okay.
And more resources are coming for the fertile being method process on that website too.
Okay.
I also want to mention that our Vigo has a website. I don't know the address, but if you Google our Vigo therapy, you should be able to find practitioners wherever you are. They have trained practitioners in the traditional Mayan uterine healing techniques all over the world. So you can enter, where you live and see what practitioners are offering that work. And it's so powerful. I highly recommend that.
Thank you. I'll include some of these links at the end here. But yeah, I'm so grateful to you, and I miss you, and hope we can get together at some point.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. And for anyone who's looking for support on their fertility path, personalized coaching support, I'm also looking to form some small group support. Starting out, I've had some interest in doing some more online. I know we can't really do a lot in person, but more small inline group support. Reach out to me. I'm at ivfmanifestingamiracle.com. And thank you. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Lisa.
Hi, everybody.